Cwestiwn 3, Huw Irranca-Davies.
Diolch, Llywydd. Will the Minister make a statement on the use of fire and rehire practices by companies in receipt of Welsh Government funding?
I want to be clear, as the First Minister was yesterday, that the Welsh Government condemns the use of fire and rehire as a negotiating tactic and employment practice. The threat of redundancy to impose inferior pay terms and conditions on workers does not accord our fair work and social partnership values and is inconsistent with the ethos of the economic contract.
I think many of us in the Chamber will welcome that clarity. Minister, unfortunately, the repugnant use of fire and rehire is growing. Only a month ago, 140 MPs and Lords joined a campaign led by the TUC and around 20 major unions in this country, including Unite, GMB, Community, the FSB, most of the major unions, to stop employers raiding wages, cutting sick pay terms and conditions, and undermining workers' rights at work. They called on the UK Government to use the Queen's speech in May to stop this practice of fire and rehire, but those calls were ignored. Now, employment law, of course, is not devolved to Wales, but we do have some powerful tools to hand, including the social partnership approach and ethical procurement, which turned the spotlight previously on companies who had used construction blacklists to absolutely beggar the lives of workers within the construction industry. So, Minister, what more can we do to stamp out the use of hire and fire in Wales, where companies are in receipt of public funds? And is there anything we could look at in the social partnership legislation going forward too?
Yes, and I recognise the point the member makes. I remember as a backbencher raising issues about the construction workers' blacklist and the direct impact that had on the lives of workers in Wales and beyond. So we are going to look to use the levers, both practical that we have and influential, to try to move employers in Wales to a position where they understand the view of the Welsh Government and what that means for their engagement with us. So the economic contract, it's very clear about commit to fair work principles, and if people want continuing support, they're going to need to take account of that. And this goes back to the point about, even though we don't have the legislative powers, we have practical levers that should help to move us forward. And I do look forward to making progress on procurement and social partnership, because that will involve us taking forward the Fair Work agenda, and members will have the opportunity to scrutinise the approach in legislation about those Fair Work principles and what it will mean. So I look forward to members getting involved and engaged in that to make sure we have the best piece of legislation that should then make a practical difference for how the Welsh Government engages in financial, loan support and practical support for companies and businesses. And I believe that will really improve the world of work here in Wales. Very good.